Byron's 62-13 victory over South Dakota. And you're 1-0. Boy, quick start with your team tonight. Offense got the ball first, and that quick start really got things rolling.
Yeah, offensively, I thought we got off to a really good start. Defensively, didn't get off to as good of a start, and we'll make some corrections to that effect. But obviously, very pleased with the victory. Could have, would have, should have done a few things a little bit better. Got a couple guys in the locker room. It's hard to win a football game 62-13. That's a good team. I feel horrible about their quarterback going down. I hope he's okay. He's a good player, and those guys are going to have a great year. But regroup, have a quick night tonight, and start recovery and training for next week.
Well, it helps Marcus is sharp right off the bat. And, running, passing, you guys were pretty balanced. But being sharp right off the bat, hitting some big plays. Dwayne Stanford right off the bat with a big touchdown. Byron Marshall down the sideline. Things were on target and in rhythm, it looked like, very quickly.
Yeah, we thought kind of how they were going to play us is how they played us. They tried to stack, nine guys in the box on a few extended formations, expanded formations, and trying to get guys singled up for some of those big plays. And those guys did a nice job of that. Obviously, we can't, whatever we did on the first one, a celebration penalty, then Byron's inexcusable deal of flipping the ball before he's in the end zone, we'll definitely get that corrected.
Offensive line really protected well tonight.
They did. We were prepared for a bunch more stuff that they didn't end up doing. They had a big package of blitzes that we were ready for that they just didn't do for whatever reason. But all in all, pleased with those guys.
And your three, the three-headed monster, the three tailbacks did a tremendous job tonight. I see 29 carries, 229 yards between the three of them. Great balance between the three of them. And then Byron, 8 catches, 138 yards. He was a big factor in tonight's game.
Yeah, he was. And again, kind of that wheel route we had at the beginning, and then the one down the pipe we thought we had some pretty good opportunities to get that done, and Byron did a great job, took a couple huge shots that maybe hit his head, and that's why he flipped the ball in the end zone, I'm not sure. But, we'll continue to expand those guys and just fit packages, kind of how they come about during the game plan process.
Yeah, you talked about the defense. A few struggles in the first half here and there, but I thought the second half came out and really played sound football, pitched the shutout, only give up about 150 yards of total offense, and to the bitter end fought.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it was. We had, I think we had 8 freshmen in there on one drive, 9 freshmen in there on right there at the end, and that was great to compete to the end. Jawan Williams coming off the edge of freshman corner with the big sack was huge, and that's what we talk about all the time. Doesn't matter if it's first play or the last play, we're competing.
Pressure on the quarterback at times, too. You were able to get to it and not always do it with the blitz either. You were able to get Armstead and some others back there after it.
Yeah, we did a couple times, double A, when he gets extension on a guy that the old lineman's automatically 4 yards in the backfield. So that was a good thing. Limited in terms of, like you said, in terms of our defensive package tonight by choice. And again, pleased with, like you said, some of the numbers. I thought our tempo was a little off. I think those guys are so used to just playing, snap after snap after snap against our offense in training, and we just have to play a different style. We have to take advantage of that time. That's a time where for us, that's another opportunity to basically have a quick little position meeting and get dialed in.
Charles Nelson, big punt return. The freshman has a touchdown. How did you feel about your special teams play overall?
Pretty good. Again, had a couple flubs on extra points. Had the one number exception penalty, which that's on us. We got that corrected. But yeah, Charles, Royce, Darren Carrington, all those guys, we're excited about them with good reason.
And you're not afraid to play the freshmen. You just mentioned a couple of them right there. Not afraid to play them because they're big time players that are going to really contribute this year.
Yeah, and I think just again the credit goes to Tyrell Crosby as well as a freshman. The credit goes to Hronis Grossu and Marcus Mariota and Keenan Lowe that really embraced all those guys. We knew we were going to be a young team in a lot of ways in the skill area and a little supplementation on the offensive line. And I think this is a really, really mature group of young players. Between our redshirt freshmen and our true freshmen that we're playing, they're mature guys for whatever reason.
South Dakota plays hard on both sides of the ball. And you mentioned Kevin Earl. I thought he really held things together out there. A lot of pressure on him. Would stand in there, deliver the ball on the money, and made a lot of plays with his feet too. What your thoughts about South Dakota and how they came out and played?
Yeah, typical Joe Glenn team. You know, tough, hard-nosed, sound. And like you said, I thought their QB was a tough guy, and that's one of my favorite qualities in a quarterback is just toughness. And he did a good job with some of the quarterback design runs, and keeping plays alive. Did a great job with play action. They're trying to kind of milk the clock, and he did a great job managing the game.
Well, 62-13 victory over South Dakota. That gets you to 1-0, but it moves you into a huge matchup with Michigan State. And the Spartans coming to town next week. You had a chance to maybe look at them a little bit earlier yesterday, I guess, or earlier today. And boy, I tell you what, they're bringing an unbelievable team in here. It's going to be a tremendous matchup, isn't it?
You guys can finally talk about the Michigan State game. Yeah, they're an extremely talented team and just a great program. Coach D'Antonio, I have a ton of respect for, and obviously Pat Narduzzi does a great job on defense. And we'll again go home as soon as you're done asking questions. We'll go home, sleep, and get after them tomorrow.
Okay, I'm done asking questions, and you can talk to these guys now. So congratulations, Coach. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Jordan, appreciate it.
All right, Jerry, back up to you.
You can't have any more questions after that.
So both microphones are dead, so we're going to have to...
Good night, everybody.
AJ, Coach, obviously you played a lot of freshmen today. Do you know how many you played, and was it the guys who intended all along to get them all in?
I don't know without tabulating the plays. I know a couple guys that were kind of on the ready list were Jimmy Swain and Arion Springs that did play. And then Tyrell, Royce, Charles, Zach Schuler, who's obviously not a true freshman, but a guy with an available red shirt we anticipated playing. Did I say Tyrell Crosby? Okay, Tyrell Crosby. And then defensively, Austin, Henry Mondu, Arion, all were anticipated.
Next question, right here.
Hey, so how is today different than last year's home open? Like, how do you feel like you've grown over the last year?
I don't know. Again, hopefully we're smarter, but then we drop the ball going into the end zone and block a guy in the back as he's tackling the punt returner. So, I think our guys were anxious there at the beginning. A couple of silly mistakes. They're excited to play their first game. Could have played a little bit smarter there to start things off. But yeah, we need to get better in a hurry. Oh, I'm much better.
Much better?
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Steve. Mark, you talk about those running backs, Royce, Thomas, and Byron. It seemed like whoever you put in there at kind of different spots, they're able to kind of find some yards and make some things happen each time they got the ball.
Yeah, those guys, we think they're really good players, Byron had a little bit different role tonight in terms of a little bit more of a hybrid guy, a downfield receiver threat, and that was just kind of by virtue of how they defended those formations. I think Royce has that capability. He just hasn't been here long enough to kind of add that next layer of development to his repertoire. Thomas has that availability as well, and then they're all good, just thumper running backs. And Royce has a little bit, probably maybe a little bit more shift in him than the other guys. But we'll just continue to develop all those guys, and we'll need all of them.
Warren.
Mark, a lot of people say the biggest jump in improvement is from game 1 to game 2. What were some of the things that you were really pleased with tonight, and then some of the things that you think you need to work on?
Defensively, I thought we started okay. I just didn't like our urgency. I thought we needed to create some of our own energy when they're sapping the play clock down to 1 second and snapping the ball. When the ball snaps, we need to strap it on and play, and that didn't always occur. Offensively, we're shooting for perfection in every way. I thought we could have hit the guy in the seam on the ball that was kind of tipped and almost intercepted. Few little nuanced things in the passing game, spacing wise, and then we need to be smarter in special teams.
Will.
With Byron playing a lot of time in 2-back sets in the slot, is that he seemed to be the only guy really rotating around there? Is that by design, or do you really feel like eventually Thomas and Royce can play all those positions?
I think the latter. I think eventually those other guys will just continue to develop. We've done that with them in fall camp, and it was kind of just by virtue of who we had the most confidence in, combined with how they defend formations.
Mark, what did you say to Byron after the ball flip?
We had a good discussion. We give the ball to the official. That's all we do, which he did very well on the next touchdown.
Jeff Lockie looked poised and confident out there today. How's he improved in your mind from last year to this year? Just how today?
I think he's playing. You know, he's just playing and reacting and playing with more urgency, being a smart guy, and just instead of a lot of times smart guys, and we have a few smart guys, but Jeff's, you know, on the upper echelon of 4.0 in finance type intelligence, and there's a little bit of over-analysis that goes on, trying to make it perfect and this, that, and, you know, it has to be perfect, instead of just playing with urgent feet, balanced feet, and ripping it. And he did a better job of that. I think Pharaoh Brown is still wide open in the back of the end zone on one. We had a little double move play that he could have made a lot easier, but pleased with his development for sure.
Hey, Mark. Marcus seemed to have a pretty good chemistry with the running backs through the passing game. I think more than half of his completions went to running backs. But with the receivers, you know, Dwayne had that first catch, and then after that, he kind of was, I don't know if he was targeted after that, but were you able to see kind of separation from the receivers after kind of what you saw in camp?
We'll take a look at the film. I don't know yet. I thought those guys all did really good things in the run game as well. Chance Allen had a key block on the long, what should have been a touchdown by Byron Marshall. Was a huge block. Zach Schuler had a couple nice blocks in the run game, and so we'll take a look at that and, you know, kind of parcel that out once we see the film.
Mark, you made a reference to your defense. Did you basically play a lot of basic defense tonight and not throw a lot at this team? And then the second part of that question is, how do you feel like your team is equipped to play a Michigan State, which has a really good quarterback, good running game, and a top flight receiver?
On the first part, yes. Excuse me, we were, you know, I would say trying to play fast and sound defensively and not overthink things too much. They, you know, presented some stuff in terms of some unbalanced formations, some two back and two tight end formations that we would probably defend a little bit differently in an ideal situation going forward, and we'll do that. And yeah, Michigan State is again an excellent football team that is excellent in every phase.
Coach, you talked about the anxiousness of some of the younger players, but it seemed like a lot of the veteran guys, Marcus, kind of setting the tone, the offensive line coming out there and everything seemed kind of calm from their point of view, I guess. Could you talk about how that set the tone for today and how that's going to be important going forward next week?
Yeah, I think that, you know, anytime you can get off to a fast start, and it was 21-3 or 21-3, then 21-6, you know, you're a little bit more at ease, but we want to keep pushing the tempo and keep putting those guys in bad situations. And I thought defensively we let them off the hook with a couple either missed tackles on third down or a couple little hiccups that could have been uglier earlier. You know, we'll try to fix that as best as we can. And what was the second part of that? Marcus is. I thought our team handled that the whole day pretty well. You know, they've been waiting an entire offseason to get back out there, and the anxiety of sitting around all day, multiple days watching all these other games, and then finally getting to play. I thought we handled that okay. You know, some guys again made some mistakes, and you know, that's where you need your leaders to lead, and like you said, play well.
Couple more questions though.
Did you get an exclamation on the unsportsmanlike after the first touchdown? No. Oh, I mean, I had a couple different. I don't want to get into that. Get in trouble.
One more? Sure, I'll ask about the receivers, Mark. Obviously, Byron in a little bit different role, pretty sound catching the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think all your other guys, Chance, Darren, Farrell, Dwayne, a lot of other guys caught the balls. Overall, that receiving core, how did they do?
Okay, here's the problem, because Dwayne Stanford did catch the ball, right? We got a stat error. He was the guy that caught the touchdown, right? Come on, man. Or what I have.
Yeah, I thought those guys again played well, and I really like our receivers. They need to develop quickly and mature quickly, and we'll force feed them as much as possible. Got the edited version or no? Okay. I was going to try to look at how many guys caught balls. This is the quickie stats. The regular stats, that's a lot of dudes catching balls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, 11 guys between, the tight ends and the backs, and throwing in they've got the hooper and the track star, and we're trying to recruit Liz Brenner to catch one more next week.
Good vision, that sort of balance though, as opposed to a Huff and Braylon, catching a lot of balls.
It just depends, It obviously in a game like this, you're going to try to play everybody and get them involved, and it just depends on how the game, both from your standpoint, how you game plan, and how they kind of dictate, or teams are able to dictate to a certain extent where the ball's going. We'll if we score with the tailback, we'll take that. If it's a tight end or a wideout, they count the same.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.